My question was, what are you trying to get better at musically?
What am I trying to get better at musically? Piano.
For sure.
I can play piano to the point like I could play chords to a song, and I know like the different chords in like I think a few keys, but I want to be able to get to the point where I'm like really going to town. I reckon that would improve. Not just like like I don't feel like I need to be able to do that to write bangers, but just I don't know, personally for me, I'd love to be able to play something beautiful that I could actually, instead of being like, oh, I drew this in with MIDI, I'd love to be able to show someone, be like, and also for songwriting, it's so sick when you can get in there and like have like a piano and someone's like, oh man, that sounds tight, and you're like, I know, you know,
Yeah,
when you're
like pull
good.
a Ray Charles, just be like,
So piano, I want
yeah.
to like I learned piano when I was like 7 years old, and I learned theory, and then that all I have no idea how to do any of that anymore. So I don't want to learn theory because I mean, like, I never went to production school for this, which is kind of crazy for me to think that I'm like talking to some people who like probably know like way more than me as well. But I don't know, my creative process and feeling out stuff has kind of helped me along the way. So yeah, if I'm going to learn anything, it's going to be piano.
Cool. Thanks for answering my question.
Hey man, that's why I'm here.
What's up, Quix?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for coming out. I have a production question.
Yeah.
What was the biggest thing that you learned that helped the professional quality of like your mixes and your songs? Because like I have such a hard time just filling up a lot of space.
Yeah.
I found like white noise helps a lot. And I was wondering in your the Future Bass first drop that you played, how much white noise added to that sound and anything
Yeah,
else?
I think a lot of white noise is like super crucial, especially for all that like top end that like is super hard to hear. It just helps fill out sound. Like in Massive, there is obviously this little box corner down here is all your white noise, and I don't know, you really just want to get it to a like you want to make sure your white noise is to a point where it's not super overpowering, but it's not like you want to almost just push it to the max where it's not annoying you, and it's like you can't really hear it, but you know it's there. And then a few more little tips for me that helped a lot was I'm very sample based with all my drums, so I would be digging to find the best drum sounds. Even when I found my favorites, I'd be like still finding more and finding the best kicks and knowing what kicks work for what kind of songs. Like, a softer kick is obviously could be a nice mellow beat that you're making, or if you want like, your punchy dubstep kicks could be like the ones that have that like clip almost, like the real top end like pop. And then also like compressing. I'm still on my compressing journey, like I'm still figuring it out. Knowing how much to compress and also knowing, like I remember having the thought back in the day thinking that I probably never need to compress. It's weird. I don't think compressing works, and it's just probably because I didn't understand it, and I was like, oh, I don't want to learn it because I didn't want to because thought I was better than compressing, but no, compressing is amazing, and I've learned a lot from like essentially compressing drums to basses to snares to vocals, and what they sound like, and especially when you have your line of effects and what comes before and after the compressor is super important, and it amazes me that I only learned that in like halfway through last year. I was kind of winging it all that time, just it kind of sounds good because I'd be like, I should like put like this preset compressor on it to make it just sound louder, and then it might need reverb, so I throw a reverb on, and then I'm like, okay, it's cool, never knowing that if I put the reverb that before, that is compressing that verb and making it more verb. So instead of adding like 4 reverbs because it needs to sound super big, dude. But yeah. So those are the few things. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Damn, there's a lot of you guys. I saw you first.
Hey, what's good, Jono?
What's up,
We're
man?
chilling at Ship a couple of days ago.
Oh yeah, what's up,
Yeah,
man?
what's good?
Good to see you.
Thank you, man. Question is about like finding your true sound. So some days I feel like Carmack, some days I feel like Fisher. What do you suggest, like, as I'm growing? Should I like stick to one sound for
No,
now?
you
or
should just do what you love.
bang it out, do whatever?
You should just do what you love, like
So
100%. Initially, you should do what you love. If you have an artist project and it's like a trap sounding one, and then you come out and you're like, but I love house, and you put a house track out with that, that could be a bit weird for the viewers. But if you're, say, not at that stage where you're putting music out as like an artist and you're just making beats for fun, then whatever the hell you like, do what you love. Never try and, like, if you are an artist and you're putting music out on the regular, don't feel like you're just only limited to that, what your fans perceive you as. I mean, in a way, I would say that Quix is perceived as like a trap act, but also like a trap artist, but also like hybrid with a lot of like dubstep influence, but it's predominantly trap music. And then there's also a little bit of weird Quix where it's like on my EP, I had this track called Ride or Die, which was like this like jazzy EDM, 90 BPM kind of like funky thing. To just throw that in the mix and see how people take that. But like I want to be like writing all kinds of music, just because flipping life's too short to like think that you have to, be this person. You should be yourself first and then just channel it to certain areas. So yeah, man. Carmack's the
Hey,
all I
Laundry's
go
the
to.
track though, dude.
Sorry?
Laundry, that track is sick, bro.
Oh, thanks, man. That was a long time ago. Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, man. Thank you.
Just hold the microphone closer to you.
Okay. Hey, man. What's up?
Hey, man.
I had a question about, well, I'm about at the point where I'm pretty sure I'm ready to start releasing and all. It's just the whole releasing process is a bit baffling to me. I'm not sure if I should just throw the tracks out there with some strategy. I understand that.
Yeah, totally.
Especially these days. But
Yeah, it's weird these days because SoundCloud's not as good as it was back then. And SoundCloud was so easy to release because you didn't need like, right now, like, I mean, I have no idea how my songs get on Spotify. It's through DMAC. But personally, like, I don't know how they, like, what the process is to get them on Spotify, but someone on my team knows how to do that. So I kind of just write the music and send it off. But for me, like back then, I'd have access to SoundCloud and I'd have my account, I'd press upload, I'd do a little blurb of like what kind of style track it is and upload, and I just do it like that. And it was so easy back then. If anything, like SoundCloud is still like definitely readily available for everyone. It's not as poppin' as it was like, I don't know, like 5-6 years ago, but I would still just be, if it was me, I would want my music to just be heard regardless, even if it was like, there's so much of my music on SoundCloud that was terrible. And I'm kind of like, should probably take it off. But also, for me back then, it was probably the best thing for me because I instantly had people, or like I had a small amount of people tuning in and actually like listening, or like, a few people probably listening. But it was I had already started like my artist project and I had content out. And I think the faster you get content out, like from nothing, is quite important because fans are gonna wanna. I mean, for me, I want my fans to like love me for my music, not because I have a beard or like something like that. So like I feel like if you can get music out to your fans as fast as possible, and obviously like at a later stage where I am right now, it's like there's release dates and there's timing and there's schedules. It's weird, but like at like a very like beginning point of view, like getting it out as fast as possible, I think is a good move. And if that's SoundCloud, it should just be SoundCloud, and building your stuff from there, and then You know, who knows out of that? Someone could hear that and be like, yo, we should write. And then you write and then you put a track out that gets to someone else and they go, oh, I want to be your manager. And then you do that. And then they know people at Spotify and you go like, we can get your songs on Spotify. I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's easy to get a song on Spotify. I don't really know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
pretty easy.
thanks, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
I'm gonna go to this side.
Man, I feel so far away from like all of you guys on that side. I see you.
Hello.
Hey, man.
I believe it was you that said you were a landscaper.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a huge transition. What was it like going from doing that to where you're at now? Like, or more initially, the change from landscaping to like DJing?
They kind of like overlapped.
Yeah,
because
so-
like I couldn't just be like, oh, I'm gonna try and be a DJ and then leave my job. Like that didn't make sense because I needed money. So it was from, and I mean like I'd wanted to be a DJ before I was a landscaper, and I was like, I had like a DJ controller before that even started. So I was, I think over the 3 years I worked as a landscaper, I went from doing like, I was 5 days a week, and then it was small gigs on the weekend. And it was probably like one a month kind of like gigs. And some of them were actually midweek shows where I'd play in these small clubs on like a Wednesday night, Thursday morning technically, and go from like a 4 a.m. Like I'd leave my house at like 12. I'd go to sleep and then wake up at midnight, go to the club for like a 1 to 2 a.m. slot or 2 to 3, whatever I was doing, and then go back home for 4 and then wake up at like 6:30 for work again. It was brutal. Kind of glad I did it, but also like for me now, back then I'd be like, you shouldn't have done that. Like, it's stupid. You should like not be tired for work. But and then it got to the point where I was doing 4 days a week. So that this was a couple of years later, 4 days a week, so that on Friday that I could travel to Australia and play a Friday night show in Australia, and then maybe a Saturday night show in Australia, and then fly back on Sunday and bloody start work on Monday, mowing some old person's lawn. So it kind of overlapped, and then by the end of when we found out that it was like, okay, we're moving to America for like a short while we tour, like I was like, okay, this is my end date, and it was insane. My boss also my best friend's dad, so I got to work with my best mate, which was amazing, and my boss was actually the man, and he was like, you know, I want you to take. He like asked me, he's like, you should probably take 4 days off so that you can travel and do tour, and he was so stoked for me. Also annoyed because I was a good worker, and yeah. So it kind of overlapped. It was really tough, but also the most amazing feeling when I finished. And I remember I was at the airport flying to America for the first time, and I wrote this like big, long like Facebook post and posted it, and it like was like, I left my job, I'm been a DJ, you know. So yeah, it was a good time. Yeah, man.
And while you were working, like, how was fitting in? Were you able to do like a lot of producing and stuff?
That was at night, and if I was not dead from working. So I would say a lot of it happened on the weekends, and yeah, I'd get home from work, and I mean, it was great because it wasn't school where I had like homework or anything to do, so I literally get home and just, you know, like, oh, cool, like I can dive in, like my manager sent me a remix to do, like let's get that done, or like let's hang out and make some weird beats. But I didn't feel like anything was super serious at that point until I got to the States, and then I met like all my managers and my teams for the first time, and they were like, all right, we're ready to do this. Let's go to like the Mac for a meeting. And I'm like, wait, that's real? Like, okay. So everything kind of got a little bit serious.
Sweet, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. Thank you.
What's up, man?
What's
Thanks for
up?
this. It's very cool. The ghost note thing you were talking about.
Sure.
Could you go back over that? Like, Are
Yeah.
you're playing the exact same rhythm with different drums at a different volume? Is that what you're saying you're doing?
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like I really rushed saying it. I'm sorry. This could be it here that I've been trying to do. So if I like grab this and what sucks is that all these are flipping named the same thing because that's how I stem out these big projects. I just name every kind of. You can obviously hear one's louder than the other. And if I look at the volumes on here, I think that's going left and right, which is probably like tripping you all out. So, yeah, so I've got the same sound going the same time. So if I grab this guy and bring it down almost half, it's the most simplest tool to get like your drums sounding super realistic. Yeah, and it all varies like how much you want. You know, if you want it if you want like a very soft kind of ride feeling in the background, I'm pretty sure if I extend these out, it's gonna sound. Oh. Yeah. I hope that answers what you're.
Yeah.
You're doing.
Yeah. I was just curious. That's cool. It's a cool method.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries.
How you doing, man?
Yeah, man. What's up?
What's up? I've had some releases and Panda Funk, Bomb Squad, and I want to know how you went about before your team because they help you with
Yeah,
releases.
sure.
How did you go about personally before the blow up?
It was random, to be honest. And it was a long time ago when SoundCloud was like kind of like, there wasn't like a Spotify streaming platform that was like the biggest thing. Yeah, it was I would be throwing sounds like not even songs, sometimes just like random beats that I'd made that night that I thought was cool. It also like what I started doing was jumping on other people's like collectives or labels that, so like really small labels. And there was one called Trap Podcast that I would always like go to and like put my songs out. And then there was another one called Trap Sounds on SoundCloud. And these accounts had like, 200,000 followers because they had these crazy SoundCloud gates and would like get everyone to download, and then all of a sudden you'd be following them. And yeah, so I would, over time of like collaborating and kind of doing a subtle network, it would be finding those key people and appealing my sound to them, and they would like it, and then they would go, cool, can we put a song out? Or I'd be like, I'd love to like give the song to you to put out on your thing, and then all of a sudden I would be on that SoundCloud download to follow gate, and then all of a sudden my numbers would just skyrocket, and it'd be amazing. And also like I did a lot of collaborating with some bigger artists. Anyone know Party Thieves? Yeah, so Jared's the man. He's my boy, and he gave me a good start at the very beginning. We did a track called House Party, and that gave me, back then I remember, that gave me like 10,000 followers on SoundCloud in like 2 weeks or something like that. And my SoundCloud was just like on fire, dude. It was sick. Yeah. So yeah, going through to like small collectives and that was the thing that kind of slowly like gave me those little building blocks to get to where I am.
All right, dope. Thanks, man.
Got you.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, man.
So, really quick, I want to know how you went about building your team of managers. Because at some point, like, producing is basically like all you should be doing, or at least that's what they say.
Yep.
But I want to know kind of like where they came from, how you found them, and like what their prior background was before they started working with you.
Yeah, good question. It's been a journey. I've had a couple managers, and unfortunately, I've had to get rid of some managers, which suck, because managers are like not just like someone who works on your team. They're like almost like your dad. You know, they're like a parent for you because they're like guiding you, helping you, making sure that you're good, and doing all the back end deals when you're just meant to be producing. And that's how it is right now. You know, I have amazing people working on my team. My manager, and my manager's like intern who does like lots of work for us, and then my wife, which helps as like a TM, also the creative director, you could say, of like the whole brand. So like my whole like face swished apart, like in that the cover EP was like all her doing, and like, you know, so my like the manager I have now, his name's Mark. He's the most amazing guy, and he also manages Vincent. He also manages another act called Stay Loose. He also manages another guy called Young Sidechain. I did a track with Young Sidechain, which featured this small rapper named Gucci Mane. Actually, great story, and I'm gonna say the story really quick. I had no idea who Gucci Mane was when I got the top line from Gucci Mane, which was like almost 2 years ago. And my managers were like, you don't know who this guy is. I'm like, yeah, like, is he like, you know, is he a big rapper? Like, I mean, I only work with like, you know, like, I don't want to work with like some like little guy and they say like Gucci Mane's like 5 Diplos. I'm like, okay, okay, this guy is huge. Anyway, so that was funny. And my manager has it's kind of like everyone has their own manager story, I feel. I kind of fell into his plate of things when things started going really well for me, and when I was about to come to the States, everything kind of like ramped up, and then he was like helping on the team at a really great rate. And I was just like, this guy's amazing, and he's actually caring about me so much, and I just want to like now solely work with this guy, and it kind of just fell into place, essentially.
So ultimately, were you actively like looking for other managers, or did they find you?
No, they definitely found me, which was amazing. I mean, like, I think it would have gotten to a point where I was like, if I didn't have a manager, when I, you know, maybe a year after I had a manager, I would have been like, okay, this needs to happen. And the best thing for me was having a manager that was based in the States and I was in New Zealand, because the connections throughout the States, you guys are very lucky to be here in the United States, where the EDM scene is just like insane. Like in Australia and New Zealand, it's great too, but it's on the smaller scale by a lot. So yeah, I feel like I don't know how to answer that question.
You've done a pretty good job already.
Out and finding a manager. I think it's just, man, if you have good music and you're a great guy and you want to just, or girl, any guys and girls definitely, you can, you know, your music will be heard at the end of the day, and if you're diligent and dedicated, you know. So yeah, man.
Awesome, thank you.
Welcome.
Hi.
What's up, man?
Hey, so I was just wondering about like your artist vision, because I know there's a lot of dudes in like the EDM scene who just like make bangers, and I'm like, that's cool, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, is vision really necessary? Do you need vision to like create like something like an amazing artist project, or would you just need a side, or could it just all be you all encompassing, or like what's your opinion on that?
It's very important, especially for me and where I'm at right now with myself, like having a vision and a brand that, you know, I feel like the music's great, and the music is the core, the very center of everything that, you know, everything essentially revolves around the music. But it's sometimes hard for people to just go straight to the music. They need to see like almost a face, or they need to see an idea or like a feeling. They need to feel something sometimes, or not. They need to see something before they feel the music in a way. That's a good way of putting it. And so being able to give this vision of, or this branding type thing is super important, because it's just like this, it's like an introduction, it's like a handshake almost to like, hey, and then you go into your music and you discuss, because not everyone is, like searching for the bangers. I mean, a lot of us are searching for the bangers because we need the bangers, right? But like, if you look at the whole general population of people who listen to music, or even just roughly generally EDM, like electronic music in general, like having like something visually capturing is super important, I think. So yeah.
Hey man,
Oh, what's up, Zach?
how's it going? Long time no see.
Yeah, man, what's up?
How do you decide where to play when planning out a tour?
I have the best agent in the world. Where is he? He's probably somewhere around here. He's hiding. There he is. My agent, Corey Riskin, is a G. He's also a brother, like a brother to me, and he is very strategic, where he plans out everything. I don't touch the shows at all. He obviously runs a lot past me, and he goes, look, we're going to do this, I'm going to do this, and we've got that festival that we have the opportunity to do, and it's awesome when I get calls from him, and the first thing he says is like, all right, good news, and I'm like, oh, what festival's going to be, or like, so I don't really handle any of the show side. I just obviously concentrate all on the music.
Do you ever get a choice to like pick and choose, go to this festival or this club?
Not really. I think the only time that would happen if we have like multiple offers that are on the same day or same night or whatever coming together, and they're both roughly the same price, or they're the same look, and he goes, what one do you want to do? But that hasn't happened yet, so maybe later. We'll see.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome, man.
Hi.
What's up, man?
Thanks for coming. This has been awesome. So
I'm
with
glad.
the crazy schedule that you have, how do you, deal with like mental health, self-care? Because it sounds pretty taxing, and you got to stay healthy to do everything you're doing.
You do. I'm not like super healthy. Like I love a good in and out, but I don't. And then the thing is, like, I don't have in and out enough. But like, I'll say in and out just because you guys, oh, in and out, haha. But I don't have it enough. I've probably had it like once this year. No, that's a bad joke. I'm sorry. Anyway, I don't drink at my shows. I like alcohol, but I don't drink at my shows just because I'm working. Technically, I'm working. It's also like poison, and I'm like not into like putting the poison in me. I understand that a club is or a show or a festival is a party, and everyone's partying, and it's like, and there's good energy that comes out of that. I did have a few drinks on Holy Ship. I should just mention that. It's a cruise. Come on, it's a cruise. A couple. And yeah, so I think it's very important for me when I'm especially with me and my wife, we don't have alcohol, or potentially if we're like hosting some people in the green room, like some friends come, we'll have a drink with them as like a hosting kind of thing, but it's not like shot 2, 3 and going intense. So that's a big thing for us. And then also we on the road, eating at an airport suck because it's a little bit more pricey because it's airports, and also the food is not always amazing. When we get to cities, when we're playing, the first thing we check on like Yelp or whatever is Vietnamese pho, because it's just like, oh man, it's so good. And it's like nice, and it's like soup, broth with some rice noodles and a little bit of protein, and and you don't feel like super heavy afterwards. Like eating burgers and like bad fast food before shows is like not great. And I've never touched drugs before in my life, so that also is like helpful because it's not like a thing that I feel like I need to have when I'm in the moment and everyone's on something and they're like, do it. I'm like, oh, okay. No, it's like never been an issue for me. So that's obviously really great. And I think overall, like those, drugs, alcohol, food, and making yourself healthy is good. But then the main thing for me actually is having my wife on tour with me. We've grown so close and so much stronger together over the last 2 years of like having this brutal tour schedule where we do like 4 nights in a row of like in 4 cities and like having no sleep sometimes one night and going straight to the airports. And then there was like 1 week, I don't think it was actually a week, it was like 3 or 4 days where I actually slept more on planes than in an actual bed on the ground, which was like, that's crazy to me, eh? But yeah, having my wife, haven't touched drugs, and then also no alcohol at shows or minimal alcohol intake. So yeah.
Did your wife know what she was getting into when she married you?
Yeah, she knew me before like the whole DJ thing kind of blew up. We've been together for 9 years.
Wow, congrats.
Oh, wait, 8 years. Married 2, and then married 2, and then we were dating for 4, so maybe 6 years actually. Wait, married 3 years in July. What's up? Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, man. Thanks for that question. That's always like an interesting question.
All right, so we have time for 2 more questions, and I want to prioritize production-related questions while we have the wizard himself here.
Also, I want to if we can throw my email up there.
Yeah.
And just like, if you didn't get a question answered, whatever, just like hit me email and I'll reply on the next day. I got you.
Amazing. So, yeah, production questions, please.
Prod questions.
So when you're making a song and you get stuck and you got writer's block, how exactly do you get over it?
There's like a couple of ways, and I reckon like different ways work for different people. So there's not like just one answer, but you want to like, probably the reason why you get writer's block is just because you're hitting a creative wall and you can't push it, and it's like the creativity, everything you try is like going down. It's like, not this avenue, not this way, not. And in a way, you need to like get out of that creative space, or you get out of that session, that project that you're making. Spend like 20 minutes, like maybe listening to other music. Go eat an apple. I don't know. Have some food. Like watch TV for a second. Go stream Fortnite, whatever. I love watching Fortnite. I hate playing it because I'm so bad. And then go into a new project or start something new. Try, if you're really wanting to be like creative at this moment, maybe you have like, you go, oh, I've got a couple of hours tonight that I really want to be productive in. And then say the first like half an hour sucks. Spend like 10 minutes doing something else, come back and start a new project. Like start something super fresh or get inspired. The best way to like start this whole or break this like this writer's block is to just get inspired. Because as soon as you get inspired, you've got this new kind of tangent you're going on, and you'll be able to be like, oh my God, okay, I'm ready for this next thing, and you can flow it into that. And then if that fails, maybe you should just try tomorrow night. That's probably like the best idea, go give yourself a break and chill, because your brain, I feel like your brain could probably only take so many like nah, that doesn't work, until you're just like fed up and you're like, stuff this. Like, and I've had I have a lot of those moments where I'm just like, oh, I'm very, very over this song right now. Like the track Giving Up, I'm pretty sure by the end when I was stemming it out, I'm like, I've heard the song so much, so over it. But yeah, that's what it takes sometimes. So yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome, man.
What's up, Quix?
Hey, man.
Thanks again for being here. I just had a quick question. So on your song "Get Down" for the main bass lead, I was just kind of curious the process of designing that sound and how you came up with it, because it's pretty unique.
Is it the first drop?
Yeah, the first drop.
Yeah. I'm remembering it now. I don't know if I probably have it in here. I could play it because I probably want to hear it before. Oh yeah, shout out Mrs. Quix on the dope pic. Everyone's loving your pictures. Oh, cool. Olivia has an email that we can all like send our stuff to. So I'll read it out for you. Okay, here we go. This is not playing, probably because this. Yeah, it's two sounds going. The first, that's one like serum, and then there's another serum that does the real staccato, like. In all honesty, like I remember that preset. It was a preset. It was a cymatics preset, and it was. Or it might have been like some getter preset, actually. It was about a year and a half ago when I wrote that lead line. So it's very old to me, which is funny, but it's been processed a lot over the last 6 months from like getting the EP ready. I can't really tell you, not because I'm like holding out, but because I don't know. And that sound was like a serum cymatics preset, or like a getter vibed cymatics. I know they don't really like each other, but yeah, it was a sick getter patch that was tight. And then I kind of like I got the patch, changed it up a little bit and to how it like like, you know, it's doing a bunch of like sliding and whatnot in here. Also, the second drop of this was meant to be a What's or Not Bauer Quix collab. But I was just like, it's been a year and they haven't touched it, so like I'm just gonna take it. So and then for the ending of this track, I was just like, I don't want to make an outro, so I just found this sample of like someone like had a stick along like a fence, running their stick along the fence, like. So I was just like, sometimes you don't need an outro. Sometimes it just needs to hit that. We're done.
Thank you.
Sheesh, thank you, man.
Let's make some noise for Quix one more time, guys.